What's up, y'all? Happy Friday to you. Happy somewhat casual Friday. Check me out, I'm not even wearing a tie today. So I had a little thought that I wanted to share today. Of course, why would you be watching this video if I didn't have a thought I wanted to share? One of these days, I'm just going to get on and ramble about nothing. Oh wait, that's what I do every time. Anyway, I have been, over the last several years, I have become more and more aware and convinced that logic and reason should be our most developed and our most trusted resource when it comes to making decisions, making deductions, just doing things. I think reason and logic should be the most important thing that we use. Now, a lot of you know that I'm fairly religious. I'm a faith-driven guy. I come from a very religious background. So it might seem strange to you that I would say that. But I wanted to point out a couple of things. Number one, I don't think that faith and reason or logic are mutually exclusive perceptions or experiences, or however you want to describe them. In fact, I think that faith is a data point. I think that the emotional and the spiritual experiences that we have become a data point that we use in our logical deductions, right? So I don't think that faith is just turning off our mind and saying, okay, whatever you say. I think that's belief. I think that's, in fact, to be perfectly honest, I think that's kind of lazy. Because you can't, I don't think, anyway, there's a whole other rant that I could go on there, but I think that we have to actually, I think what we should do in general to create a better society and sort of interaction with each other is if we're all focused on using our logic and reason to make decisions and not just on things that we've been told, but we're actually trying things, like we're creating these experiments. Experimentation is all reason. It's all logic, because it's, okay, I'm going to do this thing, and then I'm going to see what the result is. And based on the result, I'm going to set up another experiment just to test that result. And then based on that result, I'm going to set up another experiment. And then you can come up with reasonable conclusions. And not just, oh, well, I believe this dude. Or, I grew up this way, and so I know that I should believe this. No. We should use our reason. We should exercise the mental capacities that we have to come to conclusions, whether they be, that's the thing, you can reasonably come to the conclusion that you believe something. That's totally fine, and I'm actually in no place to judge at what point you decide to draw the line. I have drawn some lines myself, but it's all based on logic. It's not based on this, I hate to use this phrase, but this blind just acceptance. That's, I think, a better term, actually, acceptance. I don't think it's faith until you've tried it. I don't think it's faith till you've taken the chance, and really put it to the test and used logic to determine whether or not you do believe it. Because this is the first logical question you ask yourself. Do I believe this? Do I believe this? Not, is this part of my life? Do I like what I'm doing? Not, do I like my life? Not, etc., etc., etc. It's, do I believe X? And you have to be willing and you have to be willing and able and open to consider that you might not. And that doesn't, again, just because you don't believe something doesn't mean it's not true, right? You don't have to, you don't have to believe something for it to be true. Its truth is independent of your belief. So there's no fear, there should be no fear or anxiety or no repulsion towards really questioning your own beliefs, because the truth of what's true won't be affected by that exercise. The only thing that'll happen is you will become more sure in your own decisions, and they will be yours. Completely 100% yours. The beliefs that you have will be not based on anybody else, not given to you by anyone else, but actually your beliefs. And I think that's important. I think it's important to use logic and reason. Because I think logic is incredibly powerful. I think we can understand more about the world around us and about what could come next, or just about life in general, using just our minds, than we would ever be able to otherwise. Like, we just don't have the... We can't see anything else. We can't experience anything else. We can't perceive anything but what's right in front of us. But our mind can go anywhere, and it can experience anything. I mean, we can go anywhere. So, I think the important thing, kind of the point of this is, don't let... I think I've actually said this in different ways about 1,200 times, but you have to use your mind. It's very important that in all things you don't just accept what anybody else says. You don't just think about, you know, this is how it's always been, this is what my life has always been, this is blah, blah, blah. You got to use your mind, you got to use your logic and your reason, and I think your logic and your reason should be the primary driver for all decisions that you make, all actions that you take, everything that you do. But don't forget that there's more that's included in logic than just what we consider to be logic and rationality, right? Everything. Emotion is part of logic. Faith is part of logic. All this stuff is part of logic because it's part of the daily experiment on what we believe. So, anyway, happy Friday to you. I hope you have a good weekend. Getting back into the video thing. I'm probably going to... Well, anyway, I don't really need to go into that stuff, but anyway, peace out, y'all. See ya.